Shut Up, I'm Talking with Matt Powers and Larry King Guy, the #1 rated podcast in Angola. And now your hosts, Matt Powers and Larry King Guy. I'm Larry King Guy.
And I'm Matt Powers.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Very special episode of Shut Up, I'm Talking. It is the last episode of Shut Up, I'm Talking.
The last one.
Now, when we first started the show, I really didn't know what we were going to do. I did know one thing, Matt. I did not want to be the host. Frankly, I think I'm better in the third chair. I'd rather be quiet most of the time and then throw out a zinger here and there. And if I make you laugh once, I'm brilliant. But I did figure out a way to avoid being the host. Most of the listeners, at least at the beginning, were Don Geronimo listeners. They knew me from the 4 years Don Geronimo was kind enough to allow me to play along on his podcast. So I figured everybody needed to at least get used to you and know who you were and everything. So those early episodes were really my attempt to make the listeners aware of who you were. But over a couple episodes, I realized I'd figured out my way not to be the host. And that's by making the focus of the show stories of your life. And thankfully, you've lived just as terrible a life as anyone could imagine. I say that with love.
Yeah, okay.
And it made it easy to do. As I say, it turned into your audio memoir. So for 27 episodes, that's primarily what this show has been, Shut Up, I'm Talking. Stories about Matt's life. And, to fill out the time, I would have a bit here and there, prank phone calls sprinkled throughout. But now old Matt Powers has run out of stories. As I say, that's the end of Shut Up, I'm Talking. But do not despair.
Don't despair.
Shut Up, I'm Talking actually isn't going away. We're going to come back with what we're going to call Season 2. And it's going to have a brand new format, but it's still going to be Matt Powers and Larry King Guy. So what we're going to do with this last episode of Season 1 is a retrospective. I've chosen clips from 11 episodes so we can look back at the last 4 years of podcasting and laugh along one more time. So without further delay, here's some of the best of Shut Up, I'm Talking. Episode 7, Matt Powers, Institutionalized. Matt tells the story of being arrested in late 1980s Hollywood after being accosted by a homeless man asking for Matt's last dollar. We then hear the story of Matt's introduction to Cinco de Mayo at the Venice Beach Boardwalk and a very long walk home. The episode ends with Larry King Guy's prank call to a Denny's restaurant, originally broadcast on the Don Geronimo Show, where we learn the life story of a female server. And yeah, there's jizz involved.
I'm walking down the street, and I'm going to go, I have $1. I'm going to go get a big gulp at the 7-Eleven on the corner.
$1.
Right? Yeah, I had $1. I was going to go get a soda. I walk up there, and there's a bum sitting on the wall. And he goes, says gibberish. Like, do you have any money?
I only have $1.
Yeah, I had $1. All right. That's not germane to the story.
Yeah.
And I was happy to have that $1. Sit there and make me feel bad.
Rockstar?
Yeah, okay. I walk into the store and I start walking back towards the big gulp machine, and he's following me the whole time. Well, when I got up to the thing and I'm putting ice in the cup, he grabs my shoulder and jerks me around. Well, as soon as he did that, pow, I punched him dead square in the face as hard as I could. He goes down, I look up, and there's 2 LA cops standing there. And, of course, all they see is me punching a homeless guy. And they're saying, they're like, hey, what's the problem, right? And I said, hey, this guy just grabbed me. He's been following me since I walked into the parking lot. Of course, what happens? The bum gets on his feet, and he starts speaking perfect English. He's like, officers, I don't understand. I'm a homeless man. I was just asking for some extra change. And he just punched me in the face. Well, that was it. So they arrest me, and they take me down. I'm like, God, I just want a fucking soda. That's it.
I have $1.
Yeah, I have $1. And now my $1 is useless. Thank you.
You're $1 away from being that bum.
Basically. I got arrested and had to stay there for, a couple hours. But
you were arrested for having $1 more than a homeless man.
I wouldn't put it that way, but okay. Yes, I had $1 more than a homeless man.
If you had been $1 poorer, you couldn't have afforded the drink you were looking for.
I didn't realize that having $1 was going to be embarrassing, but thank you.
It would be cruel to make fun of somebody who didn't have any money.
Yes, I had $1. Yes, but that's my brush with the law in Los Angeles. Because I had $1.
Think twice.
You made me feel bad for having $1.
You can't believe that?
No, that's just fucking rude is what that is.
How you don't expect that, I don't know.
I don't know. It never occurred to me that, hey, I only had $1.
I had $1. Hey, Rockstar.
I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty good. I can go get a drink.
I'm 100 pennies from penniless.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so broke.
The best thing you did in St. Louis was get a credit card and buy all of the Planet of the Apes movies.
Damn straight, because those are good movies.
And you bragged about it.
That's right. And I got all the James Bond movies.
There you go. On credit that you wrecked just for it.
Yeah, I never paid for them because I was really trying to toy with the idea of just changing my identity and being somebody.
Most people wreck their credit with, like, I don't know, hospital bills.
No, I did it with James Bond and monkey movies. Like a complete asshole. I used to wear these cheap Kmart sweatpants that would, wear out in the crotch. These things were like $2 a piece at the Kmart. I had a very stupid habit of walking around with no underwear on. I'm starting to get a little chapped, which is also adding to my stress levels because I don't want to walk anymore. So by the time I get to the Santa Monica Pier, I'm getting pretty raw. Now, when you're going down Santa Monica, you get to the point where it's Century City, it's all office buildings. And then you get back in towards West Hollywood. And, of course, West Hollywood on Santa Monica Boulevard is where all the gay bars are. So my roommate gets terrified. Ooh, they're gonna attack me, and he's like, "What are we gonna do?" And I said, "What do you mean? What are we gonna do? I'm gonna pray that somebody finds you cute and gives us a ride back to the apartment because I'm so I'm thinking my balls are gonna start to bleed because I'm all sweaty and it's painful. I mean, I'm in real pain, agony. Well, of course, nothing happens.
Nobody wanted you. Aww.
Yeah, I'm like. So we finally got back to my apartment around 2:30, almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And I absolutely just collapsed. I wake up the next day. I am so sore I can barely get out of the bed. I was just in agony. It was really fucking hurt. And I got the map out. I walked all the way down Santa Monica Boulevard to Franklin. And then from Franklin all the way up to Hollywood Boulevard. And then from Hollywood Boulevard to my apartment. I went through 6 different zip codes. And you know how far I went that night?
How far?
This is after walking up and down Venice Beach boardwalk all day long. 27.8 miles.
It was a marathon.
From Venice Beach to my apartment. And I had to walk that all the fucking way. That was my indoctrination into the Hispanic culture.
Episode 8, Matt Powers, Rockstar. Matt details his rock and roll lifestyle in late 1980s Hollywood, from cultivating his rock star outfit to his horrific diet and meeting celebrities at the supermarket checkout line. Then it's fun with family when a kind gesture from his aunt ends with Matt becoming seriously ill, and the quaint story of making his mother cry returning home for a Christmas visit. Rounding out the episode are 2 prank calls to Denny's from Larry King Guy's days on the Don Geronimo Show. Strap yourself in. Things could get messy, or at least moist.
I had my favorite Mighty Mouse t-shirt on.
I'm here to save the day.
That was one of my favorite t-shirts at the time.
Okay.
And then, of course, my beautiful yellow cutoff sweatpants.
$2 a pop.
Absolutely. The reason why they were all cutoffs is because I would cut the bottom half of the legs off and then sew the legs into the crotch so they would last longer. But when I went to the camera, all I could find was black thread. But I was wearing my yellow sweatpants, and then I always wore, because I wore these things till they literally fell apart, my yellow leopard spotted boots. Oh, I loved those boots.
Leopard spotted boots.
Leopard spotted cowboy boots.
Where did you buy those?
Actually, I bought them in D.C. in Georgetown. Remember, I don't know if you remember, they had one, what I would call rock and roll store. It was like actually more like a punk rock store. Commander Salamanders. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do remember that.
That was the only place that you could get that kind of stuff. And those things, they were $100. They were the most expensive pair of shoes I ever bought at the time.
What time period was this?
It was like right before I left. It was like maybe a couple months before I actually moved.
So that was like 88?
Yeah, somewhere around there, 87, 88, 80, you know.
All right, because you say $100, that doesn't sound like a lot today, but back in that time,
well, when you have $1 to get a soda, yeah. Okay. We loop around to that again.
So what you're telling me is you spent 100 big gulps worth of money on your boots.
1 million pesos. And they were the coolest boots I ever had.
They sound cool.
They were.
Leopard spotted.
Yeah, well, you know.
You got the leopard spotted boots. How much did the cowboy outfit cost?
Oh, no, that was there. I just had the buttless chaps, you know, for when I was, you know, literally walking the streets. Yeah, living at the Y, where I was free to be me. Idiot. But anyway, they were very cool. I literally wore those till they literally fell apart. The left one, kind of where the sole came apart from the shoe, like up around your toes. I hated the fact that I was going to throw them out. So I just wrapped it with silver duct tape.
You white trash bitch.
Yeah.
You put on your entire costume.
It's not that I put on the entire outfit. I never took it off.
So you slept with your costume on?
It wasn't a costume.
Yeah, it was your Rockstar costume.
No, it's just what I wore at the time. I'm offended by the term costume. It wasn't a costume. I used to quite literally spend $12 a week on groceries. When I would go to the Ralph's, the grocery store, they had all their generic food was just a white package with a blue stripe, and it would say milk or baked beans. I used to get those. They had 3 for $1 pot pies. I would get those, and I would get ramen noodles because you could get either 6 or 8 of them for $1. And I remember one time my aunt came to visit. Well, first off, when she got there, she said, "Is there something wrong with you?" And I'm like, "No, what's the problem?" My skin had like a greenish tint to it.
Malnourished.
Yeah, because I ate nothing but packages of ramen noodles, hot dogs, and these pot pies. And then, of course, I would quench this thirst with the 79-cent bottle of Night Train that you could go get at the liquor store. Like I said, I was very pretty. I had, you know, the really long hair, and I was at the time. I would say I was very pretty.
What was your girl name?
Tina. Thank you. And you know what? I was pretty. I looked good back then.
All right.
I did. Damn it. For once in my life, I actually looked semi-attractive.
Okay.
And then my family history genetics kicked in, and I don't know what happened.
Episode 11, Matt's KISStory, Part 2. As learned in a previous episode, Matt's obsession with the rock band KISS goes back to his early childhood. In this final story of the late 1980s Hollywood scene, a starstruck Matt Powers meets his idol, Paul Stanley. After that, the wealth transfer to millionaire rock stars continues, as Matt sells all of his belongings for a single KISS concert, and pays for the autograph of Gene Simmons at a KISS convention. In this episode, we hear Matt spend his last dollar not once, but twice. And finally on something other than a 7-Eleven Big Gulp.
He finally comes out of the office. Now, I'll give him credit. He walked straight toward me, but he was giving me this look like, please don't stab me. I do think he was a little nervous because I was crazed. Because there he is, my hero, you know. I kept saying, fucking Paul Stanley. I said, man, fucking Paul Stanley. oh, I'm such a fan of yours. I said, can I get your autograph? And he goes, yeah, sure. I mean, he was very nice, and but he was nervous. I could just tell. And he goes, what's your name? And I said, my name is Matt. And I swear to you, in the time it took him to write to Matt Paul Stanley, I told him my entire life story. I told him, you're the king, man. You're the fucking king. I play music because of Kiss. Everything, I'm here because of Kiss. I'm and he's like, oh, that's very cool. Thank you. Meanwhile, I am not moving. He's not going anywhere. He is not getting around me. At that point, it wasn't on purpose. It was just, like a boo, like an absolute maniac. And he asked, because at the time, Hot in the Shade had just come out. And he goes, do you like the new album? I said, I saw it in the record store the other day, but I don't have enough money to buy it. I'm going to go steal it.
What a compliment.
Yeah, I said, if I don't have enough money by Friday, I'm going to steal it. I'll just go steal one. And I said, man, fucking Paul Stanley. I'll just steal. I said, man, you're the king. You're the king. And he goes, here you go. He hands me the pen and the card. And he goes, well, I have to go now.
Please.
And I went, yeah, sure. And I said, man, it's so great to meet you. Thank you. And he goes, all right, take it easy. And he fucking boogalooed. He left. Now I'm standing there with the card, and I'm like, fucking Paul Stanley. I just met Paul Stanley. And then when I left, I walked across the street to, it was like a Walgreens or something, and I literally spent my last $1 on this cheap plastic frame, this like little photo frame. And I was showing the clerk, I said, look, I've just met fucking Paul Stanley, the fucking king. He was the king. I said, look, I just got his autograph. Don't touch it. I was crazed. I went around with that thing for 3 days. I was showing people on the bus, showing people at my school, showing people in my class. And I would always say, look, I just met Paul Stanley. Don't touch it. And he walked in the office and they shut the door. And I just went, holy fuck, that's Paul Stanley. And I jumped up and ran over to the reception desk. And the girl sitting there on one of those like rolling chairs.
Uh-huh.
I literally pushed her out of the way and started rifling through her desk looking for like something to write on. Going through all the drawers. I grabbed a blank 3x5 card and a pen. And I was like, I kept saying, holy fuck, it's Paul Stanley. Holy fuck, it's Paul Stanley. Now I'm standing there with the card, and I'm like, fucking Paul Stanley. I just met Paul Stanley. And I go over to the girl who is looking at me like with the look of death. Because I literally physically just moved her out of the way and wrecked her desk. And I said, oh, here's your pen. I go into the office, and Glenn's like, dude, what was that? And I said, what do you mean? I just met fucking Paul Stanley. And he goes, are you insane? And I went, hey, you didn't tell me it was Paul Stanley. That's on you. I said, I would never do that to anybody else, but that's Paul fucking Stanley. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you were a Kiss. I said, are you kidding me? This is why I'm here. So he was kind of chuckling at that point, and he's like, oh, I didn't know you were such a fan. I said, get the fuck out of here. He said, I do his and Gene's hair. Kiss is going on tour, and they're starting at the Long Beach Arena. And then he goes, oh, yeah, that's cool, because he was going to do their hair before the show. I said, dude, take me with you. I'll work for free. I'll be your assistant, whatever you need me to do. I said, but take me with you so I can meet him. You go backstage and meet him. He's like, are you insane? I'm not doing that. I'll lose my client. I said, no. I'll be cool.
Here's my starfucker assistant.
Yeah, and I said, come on, man. I was like begging him. I said, come on. I'll behave myself. I'll be cool. But he wouldn't do it. So then fast forward, comes time for the show. I sold everything I could sell because I needed to buy a ticket and I needed to get a rental car. I mean, I sold my little TV. I sold my dishes. I sold my pots and pans. That weren't even, all this crap. So I got enough money, bought a ticket, and rented a little beater car. Anyway, I get down to Long Beach, and who do I see coming up there? It's Glenn with some other dude as his assistant. And I said, hey, what's up, man? He goes, hey, are you going to the show? I said, of course. I would never miss this. I said, take me with you. Come on. No, I can't do it. And it was a great show. I go home and I said, man, I'm hungry. And I grab some ramen noodles and I have nothing to cook it in. And I'm like, damn it. Talk about screwing the pooch. I sold my only pot that I had. I can't cook hot dogs. I can't cook my ramen noodles, nothing, which was like 90% of my diet. Yeah, well, I remember saying, well, you know what? It was totally worth it.
The hunger pains will go away. The memories will last.
That's right.
Episode 18, 10 Minutes. In this episode, we hear of the hilariously disrespectful tribute the city of Las Vegas gave to legendary entertainer Sammy Davis Jr. And we undeniably get the answer to the question, is Larry King Guy an asshole? After that, it's a lightning round of segments featuring a name change when the Powers clan first immigrated to America, Matt's brother and his very gay lips, inappropriate show art, the podcast rises to #1 in its demo, and we learn the limitations of Matt's reading comprehension.
Died in 1990.
Who's Sammy Davis?
64 years old at his death.
That's not that old.
It isn't. Wow, he smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day.
Of course.
Oh, this is pathetic.
Man, you're taking such glee out of this.
On May 18th, 1990, 2 days after his death, the neon lights on the Las Vegas Strip were darkened for 10 minutes as a tribute.
Oh,
That's pathetic.
10 whole minutes?
10 minutes.
Guy's been in there 60 years and that's all he gets?
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's just sad.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's not.
10 minutes.
Oh, the man's whole life is reduced to 10 minutes.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, my head hurts just laughing.
I feel bad about that now. Such a lack of respect.
To commemorate his death, his widow spent his last dollar on a big gulp.
Hey, those big gulps are worth it.
Oh, that's horrible. God, I wouldn't even print that.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
That's insulting.
It is.
That reeks of an obligation.
It would be so much more respectful if they ignored his death altogether. Oh, my goodness. 10 minutes. How can you show you don't give a shit without saying it?
Yeah, exactly. What is a bigger fuck you without saying fuck you?
I don't know what it says about me, but this conversation about Sammy Davis Jr. and his untimely death, I'm just sweating profusely and laughing. I don't think that's supposed to be right.
Yeah, nothing about this is right.
In case anybody wondered if I'm an asshole.
If there was any lingering doubt, I'm sure it's been dealt with.
Completely extinguished.
Yeah. It wasn't until he died that I found out what my grandfather's real name was. My great-grandfather, when he came to America, it was several years before he got his wife and kids over here. When my grandfather came to America with all his brothers and sisters, only his older sister could speak English. My grandfather's actual first name is Artilio, which is a very Italian name. So you figure my grandfather was about 8 or 9 when he comes to America. His older sister, Jean, told the guy at Ellis Island that his name was Harry because she liked the name Harry. So he became Harry instead of Artilio.
I think it was very common to anglicize names or just completely make them up, apparently.
Yeah.
Is there an Italian version of Harry? Yeah, Mom. Italy, where the men are men and the women are too. If you would make, the logo, and then we could just make,
I already
50
did.
stickers. No, the real one, not the one.
I did make the real one.
It was very nice what you did. It's just that it was the wrong Larry King. I'm not the 90-year-old
I made
Larry
an
King.
editorial decision, and that's it.
And your editorial decision was wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
Larry King from 1984. Get it straight.
The version I made is funny.
It's the elderly, and you gave him that nose. It's just not appropriate.
What do you mean not appropriate?
It's appropriate if your last name is Goebbels.
Well,
That nose is no reflection upon reality. He had a very plain, small nose. This isn't propaganda you're producing.
I disagree. Stop being a bitch and take the picture the way it is, the way it was intended.
You were wrong. I'm not
wrong.
the 90-year-old
It's a
Larry
great-
King. 1984. I gave you the picture.
Yeah, fuck it, I ain't doing
Make
that.
it happen.
I like the one I did.
I don't give a shit. It's not going to be used.
It's going to be used.
No, it's not.
I'll put out my own merchandise and take all the
There's
money.
no way you're going to take that initiative.
Yes, I will. I'm going to put bootleg merch out.
Barely get you on mic. You're going to take that initiative.
Well, I will now. I'm motivated.
Oh, all right.
It's spite.
So you forget about it 5 minutes from now.
Probably.
All right, Matthew, I need to shave my head and go to sleep.
What are you, a Mooney?
No, I'm bald.
Shave your head. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's where the the remnants of where the hair used to be still sprout out. Shave it off and pretend like they don't exist.
That sounds horrible.
I only have to shave 3 or 4 times a week. You know, like your aunt who was a nun.
That's every other day.
Oh, okay.
And she's dead, by the way. Thank you very much for bringing that pain up.
I'm sure you're distraught.
Nobody lowered the lights in Vegas for her.
What was her name?
Huh?
There you go. I'm so sorry for your loss.
What? I don't know. I can't remember these things.
Who? Auntie. That was her name.
Yeah.
The bad part is she went to hell.
Oh. Too far.
She wore pants.
Episode 15, Witness. Matt details a hate-filled Powers family reunion from his childhood and how a police officer and his trusty nightstick helped his father avoid being drafted into the Vietnam War. Matt then reminisces about a long-lost friend and their tales of youthful drunkenness, including threatening to fight an entire bar. As the only remaining witness, Matt's been called to the stand, and this stool pigeon's cooing like nobody's business.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The story you're about to hear is definitely not Matt's.
No. That's the disclaimer. Names and situations have been changed to protect the innocent.
They've been so changed, Matt confuses them throughout the story.
Namely, so he doesn't get in trouble. I can't see.
He
Can't see because he is so schnonkered. Because even the bartender, after she gave him that big glass of water that wasn't water, she said, "That's it. You can't have any more." Some fucking hick comes in and starts talking to her, this slut. I don't know what exactly was said, but my friend heard the phrase, "Are you still wearing those same panties?" It was just boom. And like somebody set the keg off. This lunatic gets up and just starts ranting and raving and screaming at everyone in the bar. Said he was going to kick the ass of every single one of them. They'd all line up right now. He can't even see his own hand in front of his face. And then people are running around thinking, this guy's going to start swinging at somebody. I sat down with him, and he was calming down. And the weirdest thing started happening. People started coming up to this guy and started to apologize. And whoever made the panty comment swore up and down that he was just joking and he had no idea what kind of panties she had. And no one called the cops or nothing.
today, do you think people are still afraid of him?
I know they are not.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't command that kind of respect anymore. Time has caught him. I do check in with him every now and then. He's a lot calmer now.
Maybe someone would consider him neutered.
Well, I wouldn't say it was that bad. He has evolved, and he's much better off now.
So an evolution of a man is going from somebody who others are afraid of to somebody who is easily dismissed? That's evolution?
Yeah, well, he doesn't generate that kind of attention anymore.
He's too afraid to?
He doesn't put me. I wouldn't say that. Idiot.
Matt, you don't have to get upset on his behalf.
Well, he's a very good friend of mine.
Would you like to give your friend a name, or you just keep him anonymous?
Well, I think it's better as he stays anonymous.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, this guy's got kids, and he's a respected member of the community now.
Well, then we know for sure that ain't you.
I'm surprised somebody didn't just walk up and stomp me to death, especially him. Stomp him to death. Especially since he knocked over, the guy's motorcycle.
That's the part where I expected retribution.
Nope. I walked in swinging a big dick, and people started to apologize.
Who did?
He did.
Yeah, okay. I see, yeah.
My friend.
Right. By inference, we can confirm that you wouldn't have been able to come in, with swinging the big dick.
Nah, screw you. I was at the Bayou, and I had been drinking too much. I'm sorry, the guy I used to know, he was drinking too much.
Right.
But when I realized what he was doing, I didn't like it because I'm sitting right there.
So we're going to go with this is you.
No. And he was trying to be friendly about it. Remember a couple hours ago when I asked you to fuck off?
When he asked him?
I said, remember when he asked you to, leave her alone? And he punched that guy so many times because I thought, I've gone too far.
He's gone too far.
Yeah, he's gone way too far. Oh, I know. He never saw him again. Well, he obviously lived.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because I'm not, my friend's not on death row right now. And then I had the incident where I attacked an entire bar.
You or your friend?
I mean, yeah, him. Yeah, at this point, I don't know where I am.
Yeah. Now, is this you or your friend?
My friend. I think it was just straight vodka or grain or something. And I downed it.
He did or you did?
He did. I'm telling you, I'm recounting his story. I can't see.
He
can't see. But I didn't know where that had come from, and I couldn't see who said it, or he couldn't see who said it. So he just attacked everyone. So I sat down, and I'm sitting there.
He sat down.
Yeah, he sat down. He's being calm. I'm surprised somebody didn't just walk up and stomp me to death, especially him. I walked in swinging a big dick, and people started to apologize.
Who did?
He did. All right, let's just drop the pretense. It was me. And I used to have this stupid joke that when I ordered a drink at a bar, I would drink it, and then when I would say, yeah, I like another one, but this time put some liquor in it. And I kept saying it, and I kept drinking, and the woman kept going, why? I'm putting liquor in it. And I was like, I can't even taste it. Come on, put some liquor in there. He says this joke one too many times. And she comes back, and I remember very distinctly, she handed me this tall glass, and it looked like water. I think it was just straight vodka or grain or something. And I downed it, thinking it was water. Because even the bartender, after she gave him that big glass of water that wasn't water, she said, that's it. You can't have any more. You're out of your mind. You know how my father got out of Vietnam?
How?
He was, what do they call it when you're not medically 4F or something? My father said he was up at the soda shop that they had in the 50s as a teenager. He's up there with all his friends, and these two guys get in a fight. A bunch of high school kids, they all gather around to watch. And he was standing there watching, and he said, the next thing I knew, I woke up and I was in the hospital. And I said, what happened? He goes, well, what happened is his friends told him a cop came up. And he was pushing people out of the way to get to the two guys fighting. And they said, get out of the way. And I guess my father didn't hear him. So the cop whaled him in the back of the head with a nightstick and busted his head. By the time he's all healed and he comes back, running around with the same friends. And they said, who's the cop that did it? And his friend said, that one. That was the guy. And he goes, okay. He said it took him a couple of weeks of kind of shadowing him. And he said, but I got my opportunity and I caught him somewhere he shouldn't have been. And I beat him. The cop, of course, he survived. And of course, the cop knew who did it. What he said was, he said, as soon as I was done, I threw that stick on the ground and I went home and I told my father what I did. So when the cops came to question him, my grandfather vouched for him and said, no, he was home all day that day. But when it came time, when his draft notice came up, he told him he had that crack on the checked it out, and nope, you can't be in the Army. So he got out of going to Vietnam for that.
So that cop really did him a favor.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story.
Episode 24, Jailhouse Rock. An Independence Day party goes wrong. Very wrong. A drunken 19-year-old Matt Powers accidentally breaks the glass door of a local convenience store, and the police are called. Following 3 weeks of Matt mistaking psychological harassment for personal responsibility, a young Matt finds himself sent to jail with his car in 2-hour parking. We find out why Matt's jailhouse outfit was a yellow jumpsuit, and he answers the eternal question about being booked into jail. How many fingers? How deep?
I said, man, I'm getting thirsty because all the booze was gone, because I'm always thinking ahead. I said, I'm not going to go to the 7-Eleven because I work there and I'll get in trouble.
Smart move.
So I'll go across the street and get a soda at the racetrack.
Racetrack is a gas station.
Right, it's a gas station. So I walked down there, but of course, this is now 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, and I am drunk, and I went to open the door to walk in, and of course, it was locked, and my momentum kept me forward, and I busted right through the glass.
Wow.
I broke the glass of the door.
Oops.
Right? Yeah, it was an accident. And then she was in there working the overnights. So of course, she thought I was there trying to kill her. She's screaming, and I was like, and then I'm calling the cops. Calling the cops. And then I went over. There was this huge wall, and I was climbing up to get up the hill to get out, and I fell off the wall and landed in the gravel. And that hurt because it was a good 6-foot drop. When I start getting up, I see in the parking lot, of course, there's all these cop cars.
Got a choice. Flee or stay put.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I'm getting out of here. I just stood up and walked off. They didn't chase me. They didn't see. I don't think they saw me. And then, of course, they take your belt and your shoestrings and the earrings and the bangles and necklaces. They take out all. And they make you take that shower, check your butthole. It's humiliating.
Wait, let's go into in-depth on checking your butthole.
It's not in-depth. There's nothing in-depth.
How many fingers, how deep?
And they say, lift your sack, and you have to lift your sack. And then you say, turn around, bend over, and spread your cheeks. And I'm like, holy crap. And you have to show them your butthole, make sure there's nothing in there.
How many times did you finish?
It was humiliating.
Did you make it wink?
Yeah. On the third morning, guy comes up, and he's got my clothes. And he goes, you need to change your clothes. You're going back to court. And I'm like, really? Why? And he goes, well, you probably did something else. And I'm like, did I? So anyway, I'm going back to court. Except this time, there's no public. It's just me with like 12 other guys coming up from the jail. And it's a different judge.
Here comes the
And he
judge.
starts calling them off one by one. And they're all getting 5 years, 10 years.
Oh, my.
This is your 4th DWI. You're going up 15. This is manslaughter, my friend. You know. So I'm the last one sitting there. And the judge looks at me and goes, who are you? And I went, my name is Matt Powers. And the bailiff that was standing at the end of our road to keep us from going anywhere, he goes, aren't you Stevens' boy? And I went, yeah, you know my dad? And he goes, oh, yeah, I know your dad. And he goes, you're not on my list. And basically he just said, get him out of here. Well, what they had done is they just took me to the wrong courtroom. And that went back into the other one that was the original judge. This one was full of people. I stood there up in front of the judge like I was before, but I didn't say anything. The prosecutor stood up and said, listen, Your Honor, I don't remember the exact wording, but, he's been there 3 days. It's enough. And the judge kind of went, okay, am I ever going to see you in here again? And this time I was smart. And I said, no, sir, you need to see me in here. I get another one of these summonses. I'm just going to ignore it. And then when I got there, I saw my mother in there. And I was like, oh, crap,
Such a proud moment.
Yeah, it is a proud moment. So Mom wasn't saying too much, and I got in the car because she was driving. And, of course, what's the first thing I say? Am I sorry I did this? Or, I should have told you. No. What did I say? I said, where's my car?
You may as well have followed it up with bitch.
Yeah. Where's my car? And my mother said, that's the last thing you should be worried about.
No fucking scruples at all.
Yeah, just no feelings of guilt. I just wanted to go home, take a regular shower, and where's my car?
Clean my dishes.
Yeah. I can't believe I said that. And then my car was not home when I got there because my sister was out hot rodding it. And I'm like, where's Susie? I don't know, and that's not anything you need to worry about. Oh, it did. It was returned to me empty. The tank was empty. She's out there hot riding around with all her friends in my car.
Just imagine how much dick she got in that 3-day period.
Yeah. Well, I hope it was worth it. My mother gave me such a look when I asked her that question.
Right.
Where's your car?
There was the unspoken bitch. There's no doubt. Where's my car, bitch?
Yeah. I'm like, where's my car? Well, we weren't even out of the parking lot from the jail. I'm like, where's my car? Like, this is an everyday event. I got things to do.
I got my next heist to plan.
Episode 20. Listener discretion advised. A vacationing teenage Matt Powers falls asleep at the wheel of a rental car after a day of Disney World and drinking. Following an accident that totaled the car, Matt learns his lesson and lets his friend destroy the replacement rental. Back home, it's more drunk driving as Matt discovers $3 Long Island iced tea. Later, Matt's car issues continue, this time sober in a bank drive-thru. And finally, Matt describes the finer points of driving on bald tires.
I just fell asleep at the wheel. I opened my eyes, and of course, I am like right on the back end of a tractor trailer. I just kind of jerked the wheel to get away from the truck, went over into the shoulder. So I immediately slid sideways and shot right back into the back wheels of the tractor trailer. And the front end of this car took a nosedive, and the tires went up on the hood.
The tires of the tractor trailer.
Yeah, and they were burning a hole in the hood. I'm completely trashed.
Lesson learned, huh?
No, I did learn my lesson because I'm not driving drunk this time. Okay, well, Craig will drive. So we're going to give these other two guys a ride home. So we're cruising along. He's actually doing fine. I remember the guy going, "That's our turn," as we were right on it. So, of course, instead of stopping or going down a little bit and making a U-turn, he just jerks the wheel to make a turn.
There you go.
We skidded in the sand and shot right into a telephone pole. And as far as I can remember, I don't think he ever hit the brakes on that one either.
No need to hit the brakes. You hit a telephone pole.
So I learned my lesson about drunk driving because I came home and immediately started doing it going to Georgetown all the time. I used to share a Chevy Chevette with my sister, which is a little tiny car, and we would all go up to Georgetown. We used to go to this place called the Fish Market. That's why I learned my appreciation for the Long Island iced tea for $3.
Oh, man.
And this had to be well over a quart of alcohol in this thing. So we were sitting there getting absolutely blind. Mike is sitting next to me, and he literally fell off the bar stool onto the floor. And then he got up and was like, "Oh," he started laughing. And then the bartender goes, "That's it. Y'all are cut off. No more." So they throw us out. We get in the car, and I'm like, "All right, calm down. I gotta focus. I gotta drive." So we're driving up the street, and I couldn't find the entrance onto 66 to come home. So we're driving around, and Mike goes, "Hey, there it is. There it is. There's the entrance." Okay, so I zoom over, and I get up there, and I go right up the hill and immediately regret my decision because as soon as I crested the top of the hill, I realized that I had just gone up the off-ramp. I went, "Holy crap." There's heavy traffic coming my way, highway speeds. And I'm in a little tiny car, and I stopped, and I'm like, "Oh my God, we went up the wrong way." And of course, these two start cackling. "Look at you, you dummy, you went up the wrong." And I'm like, "You know what? You're just about to be as dead as I am. I've got to get out of here." So I just put it in reverse and tried to go backwards down the off-ramp.
Drunken decisions.
And I literally pinballed it all the way down. Boom, 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 boom. From one side to the other. Boom, boom, boom. And I got down to the bottom of the hill and I said, oh, thank you, Lord. I'm so glad I'm not dead. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to calm down because I went into a panic when I saw the rest of the traffic. Of course, they're laughing at me.
It's not their car.
Yeah, it's not their car. And so I turned around and I'm riding around. And then I did finally see the correct on-ramp on the 66. I got up on the highway and I was going to turn and look and say, hey, see, I found it. But they had already passed out.
The fun was over.
The fun was over, the nightmare.
And a good time was had by all.
Yes, it was. I will be 55 this year. This could be it. This could be it. This is going to be the swan song. I truly didn't think I'd live past the age of 30.
The listeners of Shut Up, I'm Talking understand perfectly. You don't even have to explain.
Yeah.
You tried to fight a whole bar.
No, fuck it. I'm living to be 100 years old. I've already proven myself indestructible. I will never give anyone the satisfaction of seeing me dead. I will be the last one to go out of everyone I know.
I've only said this to one person, and it came true. And don't take this the wrong way, because I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a good way for me. I will dance on your grave. No offense.
We'll see who's dancing.
Episode 9, Making Movies. Seeking to return to Hollywood to continue his dream of rock stardom, Matt makes it only as far as St. Louis, Missouri. After ruining his credit with frivolous credit card purchases, he finds his way into the mid-1990s local movie scene, with pivotal roles in 2 movies. Casting calls, auditions, nude scenes, performing under the bright lights, and a red carpet premiere. Surprisingly, it doesn't involve a bang van.
And then 2 guys that were there, they made these goofy horror movies, these low-budget horror movies. And then they called me and they said, hey, he goes, would you want to be in a horror movie? And I went, yeah, sure. They said, okay, you're in. So in that movie, my character was named the Pill Pusher. And I had 2 scenes in that one. In the first scene, I actually got to see a naked girl. She was one of my workers or hookers or whatever it was. Oh, and I walk in the room. She's in the shower. There's one of those, 5-minute shower scenes, and then I walk in and say something. Watching her get all soaked up. This is a real B movie horror thing. And the chick was in the shower. I screwed up on it a couple times on purpose. Because she opens it. I remember the first line was, hey, bitch. Supposed to be a tough guy. And she opens the curtain, and I just went, God damn. They said, stop. You can't say that. And she laughed. She said, well, thank you. That's very flattering. I went, it's going to be a very different movie in a minute. You keep talking to me.
It's going to be a felony.
Yeah. Already I got ringing in my ears. You want a movie monster? It's coming right now.
Literally.
You're going to need a shower after I'm done with it.
And then the monster got very tired.
Yeah.
Ate a sandwich and went to bed.
Needed to sleep. And then the next scene I'm in is where I'm out on the street in the middle of the night, and the pill pusher gets killed by the monster in the movie. So they had this big thing in a monster outfit, and I get stabbed with like a big giant sword, and I get killed.
What did the monster look like?
He had like a rubber mask on, but it wasn't like a Bigfoot type of monster. It was just like a guy looked like he was all burnt up or crazy or, something like that.
Like he could have been tipping $1 at Good Guys?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. I said, holy shit, it's the mirror. It's me as a younger man. Thank you. You are a fuck. I didn't have a job at the time. This is how bored I was. I started looking at the paper.
What paper?
The newspaper. And I just came across this ad that they were open auditions for this movie that they were going to film in St. Louis.
This would have been on Craigslist a couple years later. Okay.
Yeah, maybe, but it was in the local paper. Stop trying to cheapen my experience. You don't fucking know. All right?
My apologies, sir.
Yeah, okay. You're getting out of hand now. They were asking me what kind of experience you had, and I didn't want to say nothing because I was in extras when I was in California. They always needed somebody so you could just walk around or just be in it. I said, yeah, I did that. And then that thing we did at Mike's apartment?
Matt TV?
Well, I mentioned that, and I said, yeah, that was like a public access show.
Did you mention that one of the guests was an 18-year-old exposing his butt?
No, I left that part out.
Where someone else was pulling my cheeks apart to make it talk, and it's probably got my butthole showing.
We need to submit that to the Oscar committee. You were Ace Ventura long before he did it.
Ace Ventura never showed his butthole.
That's right. And what was cool is they had this big, giant camera. The guy was sitting on it, and it was on train tracks. Got a big guy with a fishing pole with a microphone on it. And the movie is called Amateur Hour because it's about a TV show. It's like a variety show that this guy wants to get on as a comedian. He comes up and he says hello, and I said, welcome to the whatever hotel. And then I immediately start looking at the camera because it's sliding around on the train tracks. Every time the thing started moving, I was like eyeballing the camera as it's going. And they would go, stop, stop, stop. I did it like 3 times. We did the whole thing, and he goes, fantastic, boom, we're done. That was great. And I kept saying, man, I'm sorry, I screwed it up so many times. And he goes, are you kidding me? That was nothing. I thought I was messing up. There was all these people staring at me.
Judging you.
That's right, they were. But yeah, I did it, and they said, thanks very much. And I loaded up a free bag of food, and I left. So
it's the common theme your whole life. Pillowcase of food.
Episode 23, the $40,023,108.11 man. Reminiscing about elderly celebrities, the guys do a deep dive into TV show The $6 Million Man, and then discuss the curious choice of actors to portray Daredevil Evel Knievel on film. Next, a fast-paced series of segments, including Larry King Guy's new podcast title. Matt learns how to beat the heat of a Texas summer. A celebrity guest who ran out of time for the interview. Jumpy house stories with Matt's terrified children. And finally, Larry King Guy fucks up his own joke.
So what's the deal with your AC?
the unit outside, the compressor quit.
Oh, shit.
It's $3,500. Yeah, well, I'm about $34.99 short, and I got to pay it up front. So I'm like trying to find somebody that will finance it. Plus, it's the weekend, so I'm sitting here suffering from an incredible amount of ball sweat.
What's the temperature there?
Right now, inside the house is 94 degrees.
Did you try opening the windows?
What? No, that never occurred to me. Idiot. Wait a minute. I can do that?
Have you tried using a fan?
Well, do I have egg on my face? Sitting there sweltering for no reason. You know what? Let me grab a pen. So I can write this down.
I'm just trying to, give you practical advice. Well, that does not sound like fun, Matt. I'm sorry to hear that. Although I got to tell you, it is making you funnier.
Is it? Thank you.
Yeah. So I think when we record, you should turn the fucking heat on.
My physical misery. Well, as long as it's good for the show. Okay.
Well, think what's important, Matt. Your comfort isn't going to make people laugh.
Well, you got that right.
I mean, I just got a fan in the studio like a month ago. I was quite uncomfortable there for a while.
Yeah. Thank you. And then, I wanted to just say, we are all thankful for your sacrifice. I've been trying to just go, sit in the car. I went to the movies.
Spending more money.
Temporary fixes.
This would be a great opportunity for you to meet your neighbors.
No, I don't think so.
Just walk over, introduce yourself, walk straight in. Say, my AC's out. I'm staying here for a couple days.
Yeah. Fix me a drink.
Something with ice.
I didn't even think the $6 Million Man was still alive.
Lee Majors.
Lee Majors, that's his name. The $6 Million Man doll had a bionic eye. You could look through the back of his head, and it was like a little magnifying glass.
What, was he old then? So the $6 Million Man had a fucking magnifying glass in his eye?
Yeah, he had a bionic eye that he could see long distance with.
He had a dollar store bionic eye.
Yeah.
What is bionic about reading glasses for an eye?
Because he had supervision. He could see long distances with
With
like
a magnifying glass? It's not a telescope.
No, the magnifying glass was on the doll to simulate him being able to see.
How does that simulate anything except old age? He simulated having peepers.
I didn't sit there and question the logic of the show.
Oh, how dopey.
My favorite was the $7 million man who went rogue and was doing bad things, and he had to stop him. And then, of course, who can forget the bionic Bigfoot, who was actually a robot brought to Earth by aliens. And, they even had a bionic dog. You remember that? A German Shepherd that they saved.
Who the fuck would waste $6 million on a dog?
And, and I'm like, well, that's a waste of money. It's a dog.
What's it going to do? Bionic bark?
Yeah. He'd knock people down with his big, loud bark and jump over buildings.
It's the $6 million plant. It's a fern.
Yeah, that dog was going to hump your leg whether you liked it or not.
It's going to break your leg, too.
Yeah, that's right. You just better curl up and find a happy place.
All right, now I'm on the inflation calculator online. So, $6 Million Man, the show started in 1973, is based on a novel that was before then, but we'll go with 1973. Today, it's the cumulative rate of inflation since 1973 is 567.1%. So today, that would be the $40,023,108.11 man.
Wow.
I think they should go with that.
They should. Is there anybody better than Evel Knievel? That guy never made it. I don't think he ever made it one time.
No, he did.
You were literally watching a guy trying to commit suicide every time he got on TV.
Well, that's the key, because most of the time he did those things that wasn't on TV. It was only on TV, so they elevated the whole spectacle, and so he had to go bigger and badder. And then,
he was fantastic. He crashed every time.
No, not every time.
Yeah, he
I'm
did.
going to look him up.
I watched him do that with his biggest jump, that Snake River Canyon. He got in that rocket ship, took off, and went straight into the wall.
That wasn't his biggest jump. It was Las Vegas.
No.
Yes.
No, believe me, I know. I was just getting out of high school when he was popular, and I remember quite clearly.
He died on November 30th, 2007 at sexy 69. He had the body of a 1,000-year-old man.
Yeah. And they would show it all in slow motion of him, every bone breaking as he tumbled down the ramp and crashed.
That was filmed by John Derrick. He was the maker of shitty movies back in the day. He was the husband of Bo Derek. That's where she got her name. The Derek, not the Bo.
Kudos to him. On both his wife and his Knievel movies.
Robert Craig Knievel.
Yeah, see, that's a one-of-a-kind type.
2007, died too young. Lived too long, died too young. I liked him as a kid. I didn't know why.
I liked him too, because he was going to kill himself every time. But, as a little kid, you never realized, hey, this guy never makes it.
You know what? We can do this for Shit Movie Review.
What?
There was a movie in the 70s made on the life of Evel Knievel.
Really?
Yes, and it starred the one with the batteries on his shoulder, like a dare.
Oh, Robert Conrad?
I'm pretty sure that was him.
Oh, there's a good choice.
No, I was way off. It wasn't that guy. George Hamilton.
Hamilton.
He played Evel Knievel.
Now that's even better.
It is. A very tanned Evel Knievel.
Yeah, that's even better. Now I want to see the movie.
A guy who's well known for giving himself melanoma.
I remember when I was running the Horizon, we had that, and I got a bouncy house simply because I wanted Olivia to get in the bouncy house because she was I don't know 3. We're in there jumping around. I get in there, and I'm going to jump around with her. After about 30 seconds to a minute, I thought I was going to drop dead. Plus, every time I went boom down to bounce up, every kid shot up and hit the ceiling. They're terrified trying to hold on while I'm jumping, and boom, boom, they're going straight up into the ceiling.
That scary man won't stop. He claims that's his daughter.
I was like, you know what? I'm too big for this. I gotta stop. I started laughing so hard I couldn't breathe.
You were too big for a bouncy house at 8.
Yeah, probably right around 1982. But I was having fun with my kid. Unfortunately, I was the only one.
She wasn't having fun. She was just as terrified as the other kids, but fuck it.
Oh, yeah, I was as big as dinner plates. Bouncing up, eye level. I'd have to catch her.
What are you, like 6'4"?
Yeah, I'm a full 3 bills jumping around there. Kids are crying. I want to get out.
It's a physics lesson. What's the problem?
Oh, yeah. And you can't exactly keep your balance in those things. I'm lucky I didn't fall on somebody.
I'm surprised when you bounced, you didn't go straight to the ground.
Oh, I did almost. There's not that much air in there.
You say you should have perfect balance.
It's not like an even floor.
Yeah, but it was a bouncy house for them, not for you.
I know that.
You weren't bouncing for shit.
I was slamming down as hard as I could because, hey, look at that, they bounce.
Episode 14, Grand Theft Mailbox. Following William Shatner's triumphant launch into space, the guys offer advice to Jeff Bezos about his very phallic-shaped spaceship. Next, a pricey installation on Amazon.com leads to Larry King Guy absolutely schooling Matt in a debate about online shopping. And then, fifth time's the charm. When Matt's foray into mailbox art leads to multiple thefts, he enacts revenge on a local constable for his practical but unsympathetic advice. Finally, Matt describes his plans for a unique sculpture involving interspecies butt sex.
When I started painting cars, right, I was practicing on mailboxes, metal mailboxes.
Uh-huh.
Up to the Home Depot, you get those cheap metal mailboxes, and I'd spray them with hot rod flames or whatever it is, pinstripes and stuff like that. And I just put one out in front of my own house, and what happened? Somebody stole it.
Yeah, you put something that had no value, you created value out of it, and then you're surprised when it's stolen.
Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, who steals a mailbox? And I had a constable that lived directly across from me. Now, about the fourth time I put a mailbox out there, and the cop was coming out and said, hey, man, they keep stealing my mailbox. I mean, why are they doing that? You live right across. Oh, he copped an attitude. Well, stop putting them out there. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get mail?
Don't put out the one that has value. Put out the one that's valueless. The one that's just merely is put there for its intended purpose and not to be seen.
Yeah, well, I wanted a cool mailbox. So you know what I did? He went to work and I took his fucking mailbox. Well, I don't know. You figure you nail it to the pole.
Probably his kid.
Probably.
It'd be funny you steal his mailbox the next day. One of those stolen ones goes on his post.
Yeah. That would have been fun. I put my fucking car in the driveway. I don't expect it to get stolen.
But it didn't get stolen.
No, it didn't because it was a piece of crap at the time.
Even if you had painted that thing so it looked cool, it still wouldn't have been stolen because it's much more difficult to steal a car than it is a mailbox.
Yeah.
There's no Grand Theft mailbox.
Yeah. That's the next thing I'm going to learn how to do with my arts and crafts hobby is I'm going to learn sculpture.
All right.
And I'm going to get a huge lump of concrete and I'm going to make an 8-foot Bigfoot butt fucking a goat. And I'm going to stick it right in my yard. Right out front. And see if somebody steals that.
So let me ask you a question. Is the goat going to be a male or a female? Is it going to have 2 holes? Because you have to make sure everybody knows that it's butt fucking. Because it's just going to look like normal copulation. You've got to make sure there's a distinction in there so you know that. So just make the goat male. It has the cock and balls hanging down. And then everybody knows it's butt fucking.
Yeah, it's getting raped by a Bigfoot.
Or they're making sweet love. You don't know. Did you see Captain Kirk himself went into space?
He did. I watched the whole thing.
That reminds me, I paid for a shout-out on a recent episode of Clownvis to the Rescue, episode 195. Let's have a listen.
Hey, Larry King Guy! Shout out from the Larry King Guy, the King's Cup winner, by the way. Shout out to William Shatner and his journey into space. 90 years old and still having amazing experiences. A genuine inspiration. Side note, if William Shatner's name were in the present tense, would it be William Shatner? Loving the show, Darren. Darren, All that build-up about what a wonderful guy and what an amazing experience at 90 years old. Shit, no.
Did you watch that when he did it?
Yeah. I mean, not live.
did.
I saw it afterwards.
And he came out and he started crying, and the fucking idiot started interrupting what he was saying.
It's Jeff Bezos. Right when they first get out and Shatner starts talking about it, Jeff Bezos looks in the opposite direction and may as well just given him a stiff arm and goes, "Give me a bottle of champagne," and then uncorks it and sprays it around. And Shatner's he's got this look on his face like, you just interrupted something profound.
Yeah. And that rocket ship looks like a dick. It's a space dick.
And it's a circumcised space dick.
Yeah, they should put veins on the side of it, paint some veins on it.
You see, when ice forms on the outside, little jizz-like.
That's right.
They should have a little pre on top. It's like the white smoke when they name a new pope.
Yeah.
Get to 10 seconds before launch, they know it's going to happen, and a little pre appears right on top. All right, it's go time.
Hey. That's a good one. I don't really buy anything off Amazon. If I'm buying something, I want it now. I'm not going to pay for it and then wait a week to get it.
I want it now, not in 2 days.
Yeah, I want it now. Called cash and carry. Give me what I want and I'll pay you for it.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I go, you mean I can have it in 2 days and I don't have to leave the house for it? Sign me up.
No, I don't mind leaving the house. I'm not waiting 2 days, 20 minutes.
For a wall-mounted paper towel holder, I can wait 2 days.
I'll tell you what, I'll pay. Give it to me now and I'll pay you next week.
For these for hamburgers or?
For anything, Mr. Amazon.
And it's 2 days. What are you talking about next week? I'm a Prime member.
2 days, 2 minutes. I want it. If I'm buying something, I want it right there. It's communism. What, am I going to stand in line for bread? No, I want it now.
I don't know if convenience has ever been associated with communism.
It's not convenient.
Is
2 days is not convenient.
2 days for something I don't need right now is not convenient.
Well, then wait to get it and go get it when you need it.
So don't plan ahead.
Don't buy it and then wait 2 days for it to show up.
So you shouldn't plan ahead.
That's fucking gay. No.
Well, you didn't tell me you were going to use the "that's fucking gay" argument on me. I have no counter argument to that.
Episode 13, Pizza and Motor Oil, Part 2. A question proposed in a previous episode is answered. Did Matt ruin a car with neglect, or did he waste $10,000 replacing a perfectly good car? Next, after announcing the results of the European Podcast Awards, Larry Kinguy describes his experience on the convention circuit and the exciting new show merchandise. The show ends with Larry Kinguy's recent sex dream, featuring an unlikely and aged harlot.
Recently, I was at a convention in Florida, the Central Florida Comic-Con.
Of course.
I believe it was in Central Florida.
I would think so.
I don't remember the town because I wasn't paid to remember it. But I was there, and I sold a huge amount of Shut Up, I'm Talking merchandise. I sold out of the doilies. You were right. They were sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
People love doilies.
Thank you.
And I signed a lot of autographs, and I took a lot of pictures. But remember, of course, I said, and I stuck to this, I only took pictures where I was looking off to the side with an expression of indifference.
It's a good look.
It is. And there were two youngsters there. I'm not sure how old they were because I didn't look them straight in the eyes. But there were two youngsters there. And I happen to know that they had their parents front them next month's allowance money so that they could buy the Shut Up, I'm Talking t-shirt and poster combo.
Good.
And remember, kids pay double.
Yeah. And did you autograph them?
Oh, it's not free for children.
Yeah, it's a surcharge.
Children have it too easy. You have to make them earn it.
Yeah.
I did end up signing it, but I made them go out into the parking lot, dig a ditch, and then fill it in with gravel. And before they put the gravel in, I had them fill the ditch with spit.
While you verbally abuse them.
I never said that the items we sell are cruelty-free.
Yeah, we test them on rabbits all the time.
But
they're having the Houston Comic-Con at the beginning of September, which I will be making an appearance.
Oh, hey, nice. Well, here you're going to
learn. I'm doing a panel discussion with a couple of the guys that used to be on Stargate 1. That guy that used to have the belt buckle on his head. I don't know.
That's how everybody remembers him.
And Well, I don't know what his name is. He used to play Boomer on the 70s Battlestar Galactica. Those two guys, and there's a J.J. Abrams, the director. We'll be discussing the pros and cons of fracking.
It's a very important and interesting discussion.
Roundtable discussion. There's some spirited debate. Extra tickets, come on out and support the show. Yeah. That'll be on day 2.
Oh, well, mark your calendars.
I need to decompress, man. I'm stressed.
What are you stressed about? Come on, you're a mogul. You're starting your pizza empire. You just bought a new car.
Well, only because I'm a dumbass and I let the older one blow up.
How did it blow up?
I forgot to put some oil in it and I killed it.
So you drove it without oil?
Yeah. I was coming home from work and I went to change lanes to go around this car. And as soon as I changed lanes, it quit. It just went blip like 70 miles an hour. And I had to just coast to a stop. And then the next morning I went out there. It started right up. Sounded fine. Everything was working. No problems. Like, wow, I don't know what was going on. And I got right outside my neighborhood up to the first stop sign and it quit. It would start right back up. It idles fine. And then as soon as you put it in gear, it quits.
When you put it in gear or after you hit the gas?
Like when you hit the gas.
So it was called inertia that was the issue because it had enough oil in it to start, but when you hit the gas, the oil would then be pushed back by inertia, and then it would no longer go through the engine.
Okay, Mr. Science Guy. Whatever it was, and I took it up there, and the guy says, yeah, your engine's blown.
Did you try putting oil in it?
No. And I said, listen, man, if I give you $50, would you come up to my house and just look at it and tell me?
Okay.
Well, I don't think that's a weird thing.
If I give you $50, would you come to my house and look at it?
Well, because he said, yeah, okay. Right, only you think of that because you're nasty. And he goes, oh, yeah, sure. So I said, fantastic. I give him my address and my phone number,
Wait a second. Did he give you a safe word?
Okay. This is the kind of thing that's going to end this show. We're getting too nasty. Not everything has to be nasty. Fucking idiot. I can't have a conversation with you.
Did you ask him if he could make the car spit for the captain?
Yeah, spit for the captain. Wait, before you tell me what's wrong with it, can I sit in your lap and smell your cologne? God.
So last week, something amazing happened. I had a dream that Martha Stewart gave me a blowjob, and it was good. It may have been the best dream blowjob I've ever had. I don't know how to compare that to anything else.
I don't know.
So after I told everybody I came in contact with that day, with glee.
Because people need to know.
Oh, they need to know. End of the day, and I thought, I wonder how old Martha Stewart is. And so I did a search. 79. And then I'm thinking, what does a 79-year-old Martha Stewart look like? So I go back online and I do a image search. The image pops up and I went, yeah, I'd let her blow me. Easily, without a thought. I'm not saying I would bang her because I'm pretty sure the vag is war-torn. But that face and the mouth looks like it could take some more damage.
Oh, okay.
Shut Up, I'm Talking with Matt Powers and Larry King Guy. A presentation of the Comedy Bunker Podcast Network. Search online and on social media @Larry King Guy for more fun.